Welcome to the My Career Podcast, and I'm joined today by Mark Hammond.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, CEO of Basingstoke iTech. So what types of apprenticeships are available? Say, for example, a level 3 apprenticeship, which a young person could do once they've completed their GCSEs, for example. Can you give me an idea of those types of roles?
There's probably 4 or 5 different roles within the tech that we deliver.
Yeah.
So there's things like, at one end of the scale, there's things that's like cybersecurity, which is a growth area, and it's something that is very much in demand by local employers. And that's probably for people who have got very analytical brains, people that can stare at a screen and look for fault in lines of code, or who can look for errors in spreadsheets and things like that within data and things like that. And it's very much a job role that might be for somebody who has an introverted personality trait.
Okay.
Whereas at the other end, we have things like digital marketing, where people have to be very creative. They need to be able to design, be aware of social media, develop campaigns and projects for employers to promote brands.
Yeah.
And that's probably for somebody who's very extroverted.
Okay.
In between that, we've got things like first and second line support, so people who help organisations and individuals fix their laptops and their PCs.
Okay.
Those types of roles, you need to have great communication skills. So employers are looking for not people who know how to use a computer or download software. They want people who can talk to other people, whether that's internal or external customers. So communication skills can be very important there. Okay. And then we also have roles that might be directly linked to software. So it might be writing lines of code, or it might be implementing code for senior technicians and things like that. So there's a very wide range of tech requirements across the M3 corridor that we work with. And there's, we've seen a massive growth in lots of these roles, certainly over the last 5 years.
Okay. So if we started with the analytical roles, if a young person was studying GCSEs, what are the GCSEs that are linked towards progressing into roles like cybersecurity or data analytics? What kind of subjects are they going to be good at?
Probably maths is really important.
Yeah.
In fact, I would say that's probably important for all the qualifications that we offer, but particularly for cybersecurity, I think maths is really important.
Okay.
Any qualifications that are linked to data, analysing of data.
Yeah.
So that might be, I don't know, it could be biology, chemistry, any of those things where there's an analytical requirement, that is needed for that qualification. If you can adapt that and use the same skills, then you'd probably be a good fit.
Yeah, actually you wouldn't naturally think that, would you? I guess listening to that is a bit like problem solving skills.
Very much problem solving, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So any faults that you can see in formulas and you're able to fix those, that would be, probably be a really good trait.
So if we then looked at kind of like you talked about the sort of support roles, so that's a bit broader. So I'm guessing sort of studying sort of computer science or ICT, and maths is going to be helpful for those kinds of roles.
I think for those types of support roles, maths and English are really important.
Yeah.
For those support roles, probably communication is the most important thing.
Yeah.
Because you've got to talk to people that you don't know, people on the other end of the telephone who probably don't know what they're talking about or don't know what the problem is.
Yeah.
You need to be able to help them. And you need really good listening skills as well, because I might ring up and tell you that my computer's not working and something's happening every time I've done this. So you need to understand why it's not. So you need to be able to ask the right questions to find out what's really wrong with the computer and why it's not working. So communication skills, good listening skills will be fantastic for that type of role, but also the ability to talk to people that you don't know as well.
Yeah. And I guess, again, it's the problem solving element comes into that, doesn't it?
It does. And I think the other thing with with those types of support roles, you will have to follow a clear set of procedures that relate to that company. So that company will have their own policies and procedures that protect that organisation, particularly in terms of data protection and things like that. Okay. So whoever's doing that job role, that support role, not only do they need the good English and the good communication skills, they need to be able to follow a set pattern and do the job in the same way each time, rather than thinking, oh, I'll do it this way this time, or I'll do it that way. Yeah. Because you can't. You have to follow a set procedure every single time.
What sort of subjects, what would you be looking for someone who wanted to pursue a career in digital marketing?
I think anything that's creative.
Yeah.
And anybody who's got, I dare say, an awful lot of people will be using social media, particularly young people.
Yeah.
And if they use that social media to create their own content and they can demonstrate those skills to an employer, that would be really great.
Okay.
And so that would be a good example of, these are the creative skills that I've got. I think once you get into that type of role, again, communication skills are really important. And probably the most important in digital marketing is listening, understanding what the customer wants and what they don't want, and coming up with creative ideas to get that brand awareness across, because the marketing will either be there to improve the quality of the brand, or it'll be the marketing to bring in new customers into the organisation. Yeah. So people will be doing that. So again, the company would probably have a pretty strict set of procedures in how they do that. Yeah. But there'd be more flexibility in it than if you were providing customer support for those support roles. One of the things that we do with all our apprenticeships is we provide a coach that looks after the apprentice and will help them develop their attitudes and behaviours in the workplace, but also help improve their communication and presentation skills as well. Yeah. So again, employers aren't looking for the finished article, but we will take you from that position where your communication skills might be okay but not brilliant, and we will take those skills and develop them with you and enhance them and give you time to practice and develop skills, so that as you move through the qualification, you get much better at it.
Like a level 3 apprenticeship, the entry requirements for that would be sort of GCSE level, but sometimes you will get young people who have completed A levels or BTECs at sixth form or college, and although that's like a level 3 qualification, they can kind of take that sideways step into a level 3 apprenticeship in the knowledge that after a year or 18 months, then they've got that additional sort of vocational qualification, but plus that great work experience. So when you pull them together, then they can then move up and progress on. And I think that's quite important sometimes, because you can go sideways to then progress up.
Sideways to progress.
Yeah.
And some of our employers will only offer a level 3 apprenticeship. Sometimes employers will want to start at level 4 or level 5.
Yes.
So, we'll often start at a higher level.
Yeah.
And that's great. And some apprentices will do a level 3 with us, with one employer, and then progress on to a higher qualification, but with a different employer. Yeah. So there's lots of flexibility within the system there to allow people to progress and achieve well.
Yeah. Are you finding degree apprenticeships are becoming more and more kind of seen as an alternative pathway to going to university?
I think so. One of the things that we often talk to parents about and young people about is you can go to university and get the qualification over 3 or 4 years. One of the downfalls of that, if you like, is that you suddenly owe everybody a lot of money. You come out with a debt of, several £1,000s or more. Whereas if you do a degree apprenticeship, you get pretty much exactly the same qualification. You've been paid while you been learning.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, you don't owe anybody any money.
No, absolutely.
What's not to like?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we've been speaking to a few young people. It's hard work though, isn't it?
Very much, yeah.
It's not easy. It's not the easy option when you are working
and learning,
managing, your study. So whilst there are many benefits, it's not for the faint-hearted, is it? And you're really going to have to work hard to achieve that degree apprenticeship. But like you say, the benefits are many, aren't they?
Yeah.
Can you kind of give some examples maybe of some of the young people you worked with when you first started up, and where were they now? Yeah,
so Basingstoke iTech is a charity. One of our trustees is one of our ex-apprentices. He's now a director of a local company and is head of IT.
Oh, wow.
But we've got other companies that we work with locally that we've worked with for a long time, such as Southern Communications. Right. A lot of their senior people are ex-apprentices of Basingstoke iTech.
Okay.
And even more recently, we've had a young lady who did a digital marketing apprentice with us for a very small charity. Yeah. And she's now working for the Mamma Mia stage show, doing their marketing for them as well. So there's lots of progression there, lots of opportunities for people to end up with a really successful career.